So today we are gonna talk about the second part of the polynomial. But before we begin this video, if you haven't yet watched the previous videos on polynomial, may I please request you to go and watch those videos first so that you can acquaint yourself with the basic idea of polynomials. Now, from the previous videos on polynomial, we got to learn that polynomials are basically mathematical expressions that are made up of constants and variables or the combination of both by using mathematical operators such as 7x plus 5, 4a square plus 4x minus 8, 27y cube minus 9x square plus 3x minus 1 are some common examples of polynomials. Now that we have seen that polynomials are basically expressions, let us try to understand what are expressions. Expressions generally leads to some geometrical figures like circle, quadrilateral, cuboidal, or even a line. So now comes the types of polynomial. Well, when we see a polynomial in terms of its number of terms present in an expression, we categorize them as monomial, binomial, trinomial, polynomial, etc. And when we compare or see a polynomial in terms of its degree, we categorize it as linear, quadratic, or cubic polynomials. Now the question comes, how do we solve an expression? Well, there are two ways. One, by using the graphical method, and second, by equating the expression with 0 so that we can find its root. Well, what are roots we will see in some time. Now let's take an example. Let's say 4x minus 12. So we put y is equal to 4x minus 12, and then we take x and y in column wise, make a table and take some values for x for which we get a respective value for y. And then we draw two mutually perpendicular axes such as x-axis and y-axis, and then we try to plot the values that we got as in x and y, and we see that line runs through the value 3, which is a solution. Now let's try to solve the same question by using the algebraic method. So let 4x minus 12 is equal to 0, 4x is equal to 12, and x comes up as 3. The same solution that we just obtained using the graphical method. Let's take another example of x square plus x minus 12. So we put x square plus x minus 12 as the function of x. X square plus x minus 12 is equal to 0. X square plus 4 minus 3x minus 12 is equal to 0. So here we just use the midterm splitting method. And as you can see, we can take x plus 4 as common and x minus 3 is equal to 0. So either your x plus 4 is equal to 0 or your x minus 3 is equal to 0. So one solution is minus 4 and the other is minus 3. So we can now see that we have got two values. Let's solve this same example using the graphical method. X square plus x minus 12 is equal to 0. We put y is equal to x square plus x minus 12, and then we use the tabular method to find the values of x and y, draw two axes as in x and y, and then we try to plot the points so obtained. And as you can see, we are rather having a curve which passes through the x-axis at two different points, which are our solution. Now let's talk about the roots of polynomial. Now roots of polynomials are basically the zeros of polynomial, which is basically the values of the variable for which the expression becomes 0, and they are often represented as alpha, beta, and gamma. Now, how to find the roots of the following expression? Let's say 7x minus 12. So we put 7x minus 12 as a function of x, and then 7x minus 21 is equal to 0, 7x is 21, and x is equal to 3. That means we say that the root alpha is equal to 3. Now let's take another example, x square plus x minus 12. So we put x square plus x minus 12 as a function of x, and then we use the midterm splitting method to solve this question. So as you can see, we get one factor as x plus 4 and the other factor as x minus 3 is equal to 0. So either your x plus 4 is equal to 0 or your x minus 3 is equal to 0. So the solution of x is going to be either minus 4 or 3. So we can say one root is minus 4 and the other root is 3. So here alpha is given as minus 4 and beta is given as 3. Now one of the root is going to be minus 4 only when x plus 4 is going to be 0, and it is going to be 3 only when one of its factor is going to be x minus 3 should be equal to 0. So now we just bring these two factors together and equate them to 0, and then we keep solving till we reach to the final equation so required. So now that we know what are the roots of a polynomial, we now try to understand what are its sum and products. So here the sum of the two roots as in alpha plus beta is giving us minus b upon a, and the product of root is giving us c upon a. Let's try this example. X square plus 7x plus 12. So use the midterm splitting method to find its factor. And once we find the factor, we can easily find its roots. So alpha is coming out as minus 4 and beta is coming out as minus 3. So we use the sum of roots and we see that the value is coming out as minus 7. And when we use the product of the roots, we are getting the answer as 12. Similarly, let's take another example, 6x square minus 3 minus 7x. So we again use the midterm splitting method to find the factors of this polynomial, and from the factor we can get to know about its root. So alpha is minus 1 upon 3 and beta is 3 upon 2. So from the sum of the roots we get the answer as 7 upon 6, and the product of the root we get the answer as minus 1 upon 2. Now if you look at the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, divide the LHS and the RHS by a, so that you get x square plus b upon ax plus c upon a is equal to 0. So from here we know that alpha plus beta is equal to b upon a. So we put that into this equation, and alpha into beta is equal to c upon a, and we get the required equation if we know the roots of a polynomial. So now the question comes, can we form a quadratic polynomial if its roots are given to us? Well, indeed we can. Let's say alpha is equal to 5 and beta is equal to minus 3. So we use the formula x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta, and then we put the values to get the equation required. So here's an example. Find a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are reciprocal of the zeros of the polynomial 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. So write the polynomial first as a function of x. Use the midterm splitting method to find the factors of this polynomial. And once you know the roots of the polynomial from its factor, what you do is you write or you rearrange the expression by putting or substituting these values by using the formula x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. And that is how we can form a polynomial equation or expression from its respective roots. So, what are the things that we learned today? First was the definition of the polynomial. Second was the ways to solve an expression. Third was the zeros or the roots of the polynomial. And fourth was the sum and product of the zeros, how it can be used to find other expressions. And then we looked at some miscellaneous questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day and thank you for watching.